These are the top 30 linear games that don't waste any time. 30. Wolfenstein the New Order. Players go on a personal journey across Europe to stop the German war machine. With the support of a tiny number of resistance fighters, you may get inside their most secure buildings, combat high-tech German legions, and take control of superweapons that have taken over the world and beyond. I had no idea this game would be that good. I thought it would be simply another mindless shooter, but it turned out to be one of the best experiences I've had in years. The shooting is great. You can never get tired of using two shotguns or rifles at once, and every weapon has a tremendous kick. What I liked most was that you could play it any way you wanted. You could go full Rambo and blow everything up, or you could sneak around and kill your foes without making a sound. Both ways are truly pleasant and worth it. 29. Halo 3. Master Chief is back to conclude the struggle between the Covenant, the Flood, and all of humanity in this exciting, heart-pounding end to the original Halo trilogy. The Master Chief comes back to find an ancient secret buried in the sands of Africa that could save or destroy humanity. This object could affect the course of the Human Covenant War, and the fate of the galaxy hangs in the balance. It's like Halo 2, but everything else is too. Most of the weapons feel great. The vehicles feel better than ever. The story is a great ending to the trilogy for the most part, and the environments finally get rid of most of the repeats. There are only a few here and there that are okay because they fit the story better than in previous games. 28. Spec Ops: The Line. 2K Games' Spec Ops is a modern military shooter with third-person gameplay that is both thought-provoking and exciting. It puts players in the center of horrific circumstances where they have to make choices that touch human life. Some of the features are a gripping story that is similar to Apocalypse Now and Heart of Darkness, but takes place in a ruined Dubai, tactical squad-based Delta Force gameplay, in a world that is both horizontally and vertically oriented. Spec Ops. The Line is one of the few military shooters that not only has enemies shooting at the player, but also has them think about the choices they make. It might look like just another modern third-person shooter in a genre that's already full of them, with cover-based mechanics, squad commands, and fighting in the desert. But the story that plays out over the course of its brief campaign is one of the most controversial and psychologically difficult in gaming. 27. Kena: Bridge of Spirits is an action-adventure game that has a story and lets you explore while you fight. As Kena, a youthful spirit guide looking for the Holy Mountain Shrine, you must untangle the history. With the help of the Rot, Kena's cute but strong spirit friends, you may help free the spirits trapped in a long-lost hamlet. As you learn more about the village's unique curse, you can use the power of the spirit realm to bring this once great planet back to life. Bridge of Spirits is a beautiful, touching adventure with fun gameplay, amazing graphics, and one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in a game. The plot is moving and interesting, and the characters, notably Toshi, the village head, are very realistic. The stories of each soul were carefully crafted. They were sad and emotional, but they always left a gleam of hope as the pain faded. 26. Control: The Federal Bureau of Control has been overtaken by a corrupt force. You are the only one who can stop it. In an epic battle to destroy a menacing foe across complex and unpredictable environments, the planet is now your weapon. Humanity is at risk, and containment has failed. Will you take back control? You will likely notice that these two games feel rather alike if you have played Alan Wake. At least I did. Even before I realized it was created by the same developers, the physics, movement, and in some ways the effects they used reminded me of Alan Wake. However, the map design and tasks made me think of Alien Isolation. They play quite similarly, with you in a smaller setting where every location is under lockdown and inaccessible unless you complete the necessary tasks. As the game progresses, you'll also frequently return to previously explored regions. 25. Inside, a boy who is being hunted and is alone gets pulled into the middle of a nefarious endeavor. Inside is a dark platformer with a story that mixes furious action with hard puzzles. Its somber visual style, ambient soundtrack, and creepy atmosphere have all gotten great reviews. You rapidly realize that you're on the run, and that the world around you is full of horrible things that people do. The great atmosphere, the movie-like visual, the sound design, and the mysterious, broken-up tale all work together very well to get this across. Most of the puzzles are rather straightforward, but some of them need you to pay close attention to move on, or even go back to grab something you need to pass past a certain part, like a crate. Another great thing about the game is how different the puzzles are, which shows that a lot of thinking went into developing them. 24. Alan Wake 2. The original game featured a horror narrative with action in it. Playing it was a lot of fun. The fighting was new and exciting. The game told its tale really effectively and was almost flawless in how it was made. The setting is a little cheesy at times, but it's still believable and engrossing. It had that Stephen King horror vibe that isn't too terrifying but is still cool in a tiny town in America. If you haven't played these games yet, you should buy this right now because it's included with the physical copy of Alan Wake 2. But Alan Wake 2 is a continuation of that story, and it makes it 10 times scarier. There was nothing but action in Alan Wake 1. Alan Wake 2 is a great survival horror game that is as good as the best horror games that came before it. 23. Little Nightmares, play as 6. A solitary youngster adrift in the maw, a huge metal ship, surrounded by deadly, warped representations of adults. Your fate will be worse than you could have ever imagined. Therefore, you'll need to try your hardest to get out alive. Little Nightmares is a great little puzzle platformer with a gloomy, eerie atmosphere. But I wouldn't say it's very frightening. This little game takes place inside the limbo or inside universe. Little Nightmares is a very strong introduction into the genre, even though it falls short of the standards of previous games. I thought the level of the puzzles was about right, enough to get you thinking, but not too difficult as to slow down the game's flow. To keep things interesting, the chapters have a fair amount of variation in the locales and monster kinds. 22. Metal Gear Solid 3. Snake Eater, one of the best games ever developed and without a doubt, the best Metal Gear game. The survival rules give the stealth gameplay a great deal of depth, and the forest scenery is flawless. Boss fights are legendary, they are all so distinct and unforgettable. One of the best encounters in video games is undoubtedly the end sniper battle. Kojima is at his best in story, which is simultaneously incredibly emotive and utterly insane. Every time I hear the Snake Eater theme song, I get chills. The ambiance of the Cold War spy thriller from the 1960s is flawless. The clever camouflage mechanism forces you to consider your surroundings. The final salute and ladder ascent nevertheless had a profound emotional impact. The CQC system offers new fighting choices and feels fantastic. Even the codec chats are lively and engaging. Although the controls seem a little out of date now, the game design is so good that it doesn't matter. 21. It Takes Two is a platform adventure game that mixes genres and is made just for co-op. Get ready for the craziest voyage of your life. With Friends Pass, you may invite a friend to join for free and work together on a wide range of fun and challenging gameplay activities. You can play as Cody and May, a couple who are fighting and have been turned into dolls by a spell. In a strange world where the unexpected lurks around every corner, they are forced to work together to save their broken love. In each new level, learn how to use your character's special and connected powers. Help each other through a lot of surprising problems and funny times. You can kick the furry tails of gangster squirrels, drive a pair of underpants, DJ a booming nightclub, and bobsleigh through a stunning winter world. Enjoy a touching and funny story where the plot and the gameplay come together to create a one-of-a-kind figurative experience. 20. Ryse Son of Rome. The game is about Marius Titus, a young Roman soldier who sees his family killed by barbarian robbers, and then goes with the Roman army to Britannia to get revenge. Marius quickly rises through the ranks and must become a leader of men and protector of the empire on his quest for revenge. He soon learns that this destiny can only be achieved much closer to home. The basic gameplay is easy. You can stab, slam, block, and dodge. You need those 4 keys, plus of course the walking keys. But it's not hard to learn. Then the game starts to hurt you. The quick-time events are not too hard, but as you go through the campaign, the foes get bigger and have their own ways of attacking and new ways to break their defenses. It's not too hard, but it is still a little hard. 19. Mirror's Edge. In a city where information is closely watched, fast couriers known as runners carry sensitive material away from people who want to see it. In this seemingly perfect paradise, a crime has been committed. Your sister has been set up, and now people are looking for you. This is your narrative as a runner named Faith in this new first-person action-adventure game. In Mirror's Edge, you get to play as this one-of-a-kind heroine as she runs through a metropolis that makes you feel dizzy, fights hard, and chases quickly. You will be pulled into Faith's universe with a new feeling of movement and perspective, a world that is real, right now, and terribly scary. Live or die, rise or fall. You will definitely learn how to run in this city. Mirror's Edge is an action-adventure game like no other, made by the people who made the pioneering Battlefield series. 18. Detroit: Become Human. Detroit transports you to a near future in which machines have surpassed humans in intelligence, putting the fate of both humans and androids in your hands. With a story that is among the most elaborately branched ever made, every decision you make has an impact on how the game turns out. A masterwork not just for video games. Detroit: Become Human is a full-fledged cinematic experience rather than merely a video game. You know from once that this is something much greater than straightforward decisions and fleeting occurrences. It has the sensation of an interactive movie where every choice you make has actual consequences, and the plot changes in unexpected ways. The way Detroit skillfully combines narrative, imagery, and feelings is what sets it apart. The graphics still look fantastic, and the dramatic performances are comparable to the best films available. You'll forget you're holding a controller in every scene because of the cinematic lighting and camera angles. 17. F.E.A.R, a secret paramilitary group breaks into a multi-billion-dollar aerospace property, takes hostages, and makes no demands. The government sends in a special forces unit, but they are killed right away. Live footage of the atrocity shows an unexplained wave of destruction, tearing the soldiers apart. My heart hurts because they don't produce games like this anymore. What makes this title so great? Almost everything. Scary music and setting. The ambient sound of the score gives this title an eerie atmosphere. You never wanted dead silence before, but when things change, you do. At best, it will make your blood run cold. Gameplay that draws you in. The slow motion reflection and some of the dangerous settings aren't just there for show. They put this game in the stratosphere of movie making. You can only make bullets fly past you if you want them to. There won't be any bad choices or blunders. You are the best unit above all others and in between everything. 16. Doom 2016. Doom is back as a brutally enjoyable and hard modern-day shooter. Intense first-person action is built on relentless demons, guns that are impossible to destroy, and fast, smooth movement. You can play alone in the single-player story where you destroy demon hordes in the depths of hell, or with friends in a number of multiplayer modes. It plays like a current Quake, but the graphics are more like Doom's, which I think is because Doom is more popular as a brand. It's good to see a lot of the old demons and weapons come back in this new Doom game. They are iconic and hard to replace. The fighting in this game is very fun, and the new Rip and Tear feature makes it even more intense. It's also nice to have new things to work for, including upgrades, treasures, challenges, and other things that weren't in the original games. 15. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. With a new twist on Guardians of the Galaxy, you can enjoy a crazy voyage through the universe. You play as Star-Lord in this third-person action-adventure game. Because of your brave but questionable leadership, you have convinced a strange group of unexpected heroes to join you. Someone, not you of course, has started a chain of terrible events, and only you can keep the unpredictable Guardians together long enough to stop the whole universe from falling apart. You can use element blasters, tag team beatdowns, jet boot-powered dropkicks, and whatever else you can think of. If you think everything is going according to plan, you're in for a lot of surprises. Your actions will keep the Guardians on their toes. In this original Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy story, you'll meet powerful new beings and see familiar characters in new ways, all of whom are fighting for the fate of the galaxy. It's time to show the world what you're made of. 14. Titanfall 2. It's been over 10 years, yet I still haven't found an FPS that is as fun and exciting to play as Titanfall 2. Respawn uses everything they've learned about shooters thus far, from controls to physics, to presentation to storytelling, and the result is probably the best shooter of the 2010. The campaign feels like a mix of a sci-fi blockbuster and a buddy police movie with a lot of passion, where your partner weighs 20 tons and swings you around like a baseball. The movement is so smooth that you think parkour should be a way to get to work every day. You ran up a wall once and now despise the idea of stairs. Titans aren't simply robots, they're huge metal and rocket hugs. When you summon one down from orbit, it's like nature is giving you a high five for living longer than you thought you would. 13. Shadow Warrior Flying Wild Hog, Hard Reset, an independent developer, has made Shadow Warrior a brave new version of the original 3D Realms shooter that stars the famed and quick-witted warrior Lo Wang. In this exciting and beautiful remake of the classic first-person shooter, you can destroy the ruthless forces of the Shadow World by using the brutal force of overwhelming weaponry and the exquisite accuracy of a katana. In Shadow Warrior, Zilla Enterprises' corporate shogun, Lo Wang, is told by his dishonest boss to get a mythical sword with unlimited power. Lo Wang learns that the blade is linked to ancient gods from another world that are getting ready to destroy our world. Now, the hero who doesn't want to be one must use a masterful mix of guns, blades, magic, and intellect to find out the truth about the demonic invasion and send evil back to the darkness. 12. Metro Last Light. The year is 2034. The remains of humanity are under siege from both internal and external deadly dangers in the metro tunnels, beneath the ruins of post-apocalyptic Moscow. Mutants hunt in the poisoned sky above and stalk the catacombs under the bleak surface. Instead of standing together, however, the metro's station cities are engaged in a conflict over the ultimate power, a doomsday bomb from D6's military vaults. There is a civil war brewing that has the potential to exterminate humanity forever. As Artyom, you are the final ray of hope at our darkest hour and the key to our survival. You are propelled by hope but plagued by guilt. One notable aspect is the gunplay. Each weapon has a design that blends in perfectly with the grim, post-apocalyptic environment, and each feels heavy and strong. Characters like Khan, Anna, and the Dark Ones more than made up for my disappointment at not getting to spend more time with Ulman. Their evolution and backstories gave the story a lot of depth. 11. Half-Life 2. We have lost the 7-hour war. Earth has given up. The catastrophe at Black Mesa is a thing of the past. Picking up Gordon Freeman's crowbar once more, the player finds himself on an alien-infested Earth that is being picked to the bone, its resources exhausted, and its population shrinking. In a nutshell, a masterpiece. Valve's best-known work is Half-Life 2. The sequel is still very relevant, memorable, and entertaining to play even after more than 20 years. In addition to the expansions, the FPS boasts a really well-written plot with endearing characters and settings. In terms of gameplay, HL2 is a forerunner of contemporary first-person shooters, combining the best elements of earlier and later titles. The game's graphics haven't aged at all, and the enchanted source engine is still strong today. The amazing renown of Half-Life 2 is matched by very few other games. 10. Bioshock Infinite. This is one of those games that sticks with you long after you've played it. At first glance, Columbia, the floating metropolis in the sky, is beautiful. But as you look closer, you can see the flaws in the glittering surface. The world building and atmosphere are worth the journey by themselves. What's the story? Crazy. It takes you to many worlds, makes you think about fate and choice, and has a powerful ending. It can feel like it's juggling too much at times, but the love between Booker and Elizabeth keeps everything in check. She is one of the best companions in any game because she is helpful, believable, and never a burden. It's similar enough to see why it's a Bioshock game. I always hoped that they would try again with a Bioshock 4 in the future, but I'm content with this trilogy as well. 9. Max Payne 3. The deaths of Max Payne's loved ones years ago are scars that won't heal. Max is no longer a cop, is close to being washed up, and is addicted to painkillers. To finally get away from his troublesome past, he takes a job in Sao Paulo, Brazil, protecting the family of wealthy real estate billionaire Rodrigo Branco. Max Payne is alone on the streets of a city he doesn't know, desperately looking for the truth and battling for a way out as things get out of hand. Max Payne 3 is a fluid, highly detailed, cinematic experience from Rockstar Games. It combines cutting-edge shooting mechanics with a dark and twisted tale. People don't give Max Payne 3 enough credit. The gunplay is smooth and brutal. The story moves along at a steady and satisfying pace. In my opinion, the soundtrack really establishes the scene and is the icing on the cake. 8. Until dawn, fear grips the 8 friends who return to the remote cabin, where 2 of their friends disappeared a year before. Their mountain retreat turns into a nightmare with no way out. In this classic horror game, restored and improved for PC, you have to face your nightmares and find out who lives till dawn. Unreal Engine 5 has constructed a thrilling slasher horror game from the ground up with beautiful graphics. With movie-like cinematography, improved gaming mechanics, and more, go on an exciting journey across a lonely mountain where nothing is what it seems. You can make your own exciting story by controlling a collection of unique characters, played by an all-star ensemble including Hayden Panettiere, Brett Dalton, and others. You can also decide what happens to them. Find out what makes each character tick, and who among the gang has what it takes to survive through dynamic animations and subtle facial capture performances. 7. SIFU. Fun and enjoyable mechanics. SIFU will chastise you if you get the timing wrong on a parry, but when you get the timing right, it feels so good. A plot hook and age gimmick that is interesting. It's interesting that you get older every time you lose, and it's a new way to think about what happens when you fail. SIFU is one of the rare video games that could actually improve your life. The enemy is merciless, the controls are tight, the story is focused, and the audio and visuals are superb. This is the closest a game has come to really showing what martial arts are like. In this case, Kung Fu. No matter how bad the odds are against you, if you learn enough, you become untouchable. Your fists and feet become weapons of death, and sometimes kindness. 6. Tomb Raider. The rough and intense beginning of Lara Croft's journey from a young woman to a seasoned survivor is examined in Tomb Raider. Lara must battle to uncover the sinister past of a forsaken island in order to break out from its unrelenting grip. She is only equipped with her instincts and the capacity to push past the boundaries of human endurance. With gameplay that seems as captivating as many contemporary games, this game has withstood the test of time astonishingly well. The tempo is perfect, adding new elements gradually to keep things interesting and novel. The platforming and action scenes are expertly performed. The plot and the island setting enhance the entire experience, and the puzzles are brief yet ingenious. To be honest, it's among the greatest action-adventure games available, and you ought to play it. 5. God of War is an amazing game that combines violent yet rewarding combat with poignant storytelling. A mature, powerful story set in a beautiful environment is propelled by the bond between Kratos and Atreus. The gameplay is engrossing and unique due to the Leviathan axe and the smooth cinematic presentation. Among the greatest single-player games of its generation, the game stands out. The game is outstanding in every way, from the captivating tale and fluid, gratifying fighting to the broad exploration and immersive environment. Being a more recent entry in the series than its predecessors automatically helps the gameplay feel polished and sophisticated. The game's puzzles are skillfully created to test your thinking without ever making you feel frustrated. The game has stunning visuals. The attention to detail in the surroundings is astounding, and the Nordic vistas are exquisitely crafted. The voice acting is excellent, and the soundtrack melds well with the mood and scene. 4. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, The People Who Made Heavenly Sword, Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, and Devil May Cry are back with a savage warrior's adventure into myth and madness. In the Viking Age, a devastated Celtic warrior goes on a terrifying vision quest into Viking hell to fight for the soul of her deceased lover. Nice graphics and a nice vibe in the masterpiece. The game seems really cinematic, like a movie. It's a terrific psychological game that focuses on overcoming self-doubt and keeping on the right road. The sounds and guilt make you doubt yourself, which I find personal in some circumstances. Overall, this is a terrific game that you have to play. It could seem repetitive, but it's not very lengthy, which makes it a great game that you have to get. This is one of the most powerful and one-of-a-kind games I've ever played. The story is moving, the audio design is amazing, and the performance is one that will stay with you. 3. A Plague Tale: Requiem. Take a heartbreaking trip into a terrible, beautiful world and find out how much it costs to save the people you love in a desperate fight for survival. Attack from the shadows, or let loose hell with a wide range of weapons, gadgets, and otherworldly powers. I really liked the game. The fantastic writing, creepy epic music, beautiful scenery and gameplay that looks easy, but is truly fun. One thing I really liked about the characters' writing was that none of them seemed cynical. Sadly, this isn't true for most characters in other games. The journey of Amisha and Hugo from innocence to Requiem felt very real. 2. Uncharted 4. I can say with confidence that Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, is a masterpiece among the few great games. I was fully hooked from the first chapter to the last spectacular moment. Every beat of the story, every twist in the storyline, and every cinematic set piece was carefully planned to do more than simply entertain you. They also made you feel like you were in a world that was both beautiful and emotionally powerful. I couldn't stop smiling, not just because of the funny conversations and endearing characters, but also because the game combines storytelling, gameplay, and exploration so well. It's the kind of thing that makes you stop and think about how artistic it all is. Uncharted 4 is plenty of passion and accuracy, whether you're climbing ancient ruins, completing tricky puzzles, or getting through dramatic shootouts. 1. The Last of Us. Even after 12 years, it remains one of the most captivating games ever created. The images cause you to pause, and again pause in admiration. The cutscene and gameplay transitions are so smooth that you won't even realize you're back in the game. Though it doesn't hesitate to hang back and leave you in quiet at times, the music serves to assist, draw you into the setting and plot, wonderfully capturing the spooky atmosphere as you explore the deserted streets and buildings that were previously crowded with people. From the opening, the voice acting and performance were so natural that it seemed like you were actually seeing a show. As you play, the same voice acting that makes you like the characters as they converse and discuss the universe. The gameplay is really smooth. You can tell they put a lot of effort into making it the way it is, from movement to fighting. All of these elements work in perfect harmony to create a game that is truly a masterpiece.